company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Play ball! Pitch the perfect idea for a family outing or date night with tickets to the next Salt Dogs game. Nothing says summer fun like an action-packed evening at Haymarket Park. Come root for the home team with a hot dog and a cold drink. Plus, visit saltdogs.com to learn about special events and promotions, including group discounts. Don't miss out on the thrill and excitement of a Salt Dogs win. Visit saltdogs.com to reserve your tickets today.
Bring new life to metal treasures with Kaiser Blasting and Coatings. From railings and fences to outdoor furniture and unique antiques, their expert team removes years of rust and weathering, then finishes each piece with a lasting powder coat. Trusted by industries across the region, now local homeowners and businesses can experience the same professional care. Visit KaiserBlasting.com or call 402-421-3559 to request your quote. Restore, protect, and make your metal shine like never before with the help of Kaiser Blasting and Coatings.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to The Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters. Real stories, powerful insights, and weekly inspiration to help you rise above life's challenges. Let's lift off with Dr. Lawrence Chatters on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Good afternoon, Lincoln, Nebraska. It is a beautiful, beautiful day in Nebraska. As usual, the sky is blue, the clouds are paper white, and my drive down from Omaha, as you just come down here to Lincoln, it's always beautiful just driving into the city and recognizing the promise of what this city has and all the wonderful things that are going on here. And I am just so absolutely blessed to have a show and an opportunity to share with Lincoln and the entire world, because this is international. This radio station can be heard so many different places, which is awesome. And we have some people listening in some different states today, and that's exciting. But I just wanted to start off the show today with something really special, because I have someone special in town that's waiting at home right now and kind of spending some time with me. My mother is actually in town right now. And before I left to come down here, I actually said bye to her, gave her a hug and a kiss. And if you are of a certain age, what I will tell you is that you don't get to kiss your mom as often as you would want to and give her a hug and just tell her goodbye. And you remember all those days that she kissed you and gave you a hug and told you goodbye as you walked out the door. And now I get to do that. And my mom is visiting in town from Pennsylvania, and I'm just so incredibly happy that she's here. So if she happens to be listening, I just want to tell her, thank you for everything you've always done for all of us. And you are such a role model to me. And so I just want to send a shout out to my mom to kick this show off. But ladies and gentlemen, We are so honored to be joined by our amazing guest today. And let me tell you about this guy. This guy, I'm just going to call him Mr. Thunder because you always hear about him first before you see him coming. And what I mean by that is when this guy came to town for the first time, he sent ripples and sound waves through this community. And I just kept hearing about this guy. I kept hearing about Tony Goins. Tony Goins. Have you met this guy? Have you met this guy, Tony Goins? And I'm like, who is this guy? This guy is like, a very mysterious character, mysterious in the way that everybody's talking about him in a very positive way. Like everybody was telling me that I needed to meet him. And I knew that he was working when he first came to town at Cabela's. And so, it was just kind of one of those things where I was like, man, I got to meet this guy. This guy, first of all, I heard so many positive things about him, and I was just really excited to get the chance to talk to him and get to know him. And so, it was really amazing to finally get to meet him. And let me tell you what, he beat all expectations that I had of him because he's just such a kind, down-to-earth person who is absolutely connected like you would not believe. He is humble, as you'll see, as we get a chance to talk about him. And he just knows so much about so many different things, and he's willing to share that. And I want to talk to him today and spend some time with him. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Mr. Anthony Goins right here in the studio with me today. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, Dr. Chatters. Thank you so much for
excellent.
Your kind words. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And the first thing I want to ask you, and this is what I ask all my guests when we get started,
sure,
is where did your name come from? Can you give us a little bit of history about your name, Anthony? Where did that name come from? Let's start there.
Well, let me start. Let me start by saying, I appreciate all the kind accolades, but at the end of the day, in the beginning of the day, Lawrence, everything I do is through the grace of God.
Yes,
unapologetically. And I do want to say, I am an off-the-chart introvert. So my trust in you about being vulnerable and sharing my story is something that really means something to me. And I will also say that nothing that I say today is for any self-glorification. Like, I think that's really important. But what I've come to know over a period of time, I'd say maybe the last 5 years, is that my life experiences are something that could potentially help somebody else. And that's something that's important to my legacy in terms of supporting my family,
yes,
supporting my friends, but also supporting maybe others that don't know me. So it's not for any self-glorification.
I appreciate that.
Really important. Really important.
I appreciate that. And I appreciate that distinction because one of the things that I recognize is incredibly important about storytelling is that people are going to get something from what you talk about today.
Sure.
And
sure.
I want them to recognize that as I ask you questions and I probe and I just try to really gain a little bit more insight into your journey, I want people to know that I want you to share your story because I think your story should be shared. And so as you do talk about these things and someone gains something from it and they have connections and they have some kind of a reaction to what you're saying, I want them to recognize that I'm asking those questions so they could get something too. So if they happen to get something, it is by the glory of God that your story has been a demonstration of overcoming adversity and dealing with challenges and things, but it is the faith that is at the center of that. And so I appreciate that. So back to the name. Where does the name Anthony come from? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Man, so, well, my mother, Laverne Goins, gave me the name, of course.
Okay.
Lawrence, I don't remember the whole story behind it.
Okay.
Honestly.
Okay.
I just know she gave me the name, and Lamont is French, and she taught French, and so that's my middle name.
Okay.
And of course, she married my father, Bobby Goins, and that's where I got my last name from. But the name Anthony, she shared it with me, but nobody's asked me that question in years.
I know. I like to throw a curveball in there here and there.
I have to go back and look at my notes.
But Lamont coming from her teaching French.
Yeah.
My
mother.
Yeah.
My mother
Tell me
was
about
an
it.
educator, man. Laverne Goins was the center of my life.
Okay.
Because she just had so much drive about her.
Yes.
She was unstoppable. She was in her mid-30s. She contracted rheumatoid arthritis, and her physical body deteriorated over the years, which for a son is something very difficult to watch.
Yes, it is.
Extremely difficult to
Yes.
watch.
Yes.
Very psychological to watch your mother deteriorate in that form.
Yes.
But what was unwavering was her drive.
I see.
She never stopped trying to get better. She never stopped trying to work, even as her body started to decline and she wasn't able to walk. All the way to the day that she passed away.
Yes.
She was still trying to walk.
I see. Wow.
Like you could not deter this woman.
Yeah.
Whether it was right or whether it was wrong.
Right.
You couldn't deter Laverne Goins. And so as a kid watching that kind of drive, it definitely had an impact on me. When I think about adversity,
Yes.
when I think about challenges, I reflect back to the images that I saw around this lady. No matter what happened, her faith in God. I grew up in the Church of God in Christ. My grandmother, Mabel Davis, was the stabilizer. And when I think about, those two women, I don't sit here right now if it weren't for their prayers and if it weren't for the images that I saw.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So,
No question.
no, I appreciate you bringing some imagery of your mother into this space and talking about how important your understanding of hard work and where that came from her.
Yeah.
And her steadfast nature, and just even as she physically wasn't able to do things, her drive, you still saw that drive, and
I
you still saw
that drive. And she was a school teacher,
Yeah.
She started teaching at Palmer Institute, which was an institution in the South in Sedalia, North Carolina, which is a suburb of Greensboro.
Okay.
I remember her as a kid. She would take me to the classroom because, she didn't have money for daycare at that time. So I would sit in the back of the classroom and I'd watch her at the blackboard.
Yes.
That dates me right there.
The blackboard.
With chalk and an eraser.
Yes.
And her little Laverneisms, Laverne would say, if the student failed to learn, then the teacher failed to teach.
I like that.
So she took the education
Yes.
of students and challenging students that every teacher had given up on.
Yes.
They would send her to Laverne Goins' room.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so from Sedalia to Dudley High School to Smith High, and she finished off her career at North Carolina A&T State University.
Really? Okay.
And
All right.
Greensboro Community College. And when she wasn't able to physically drive and go teach, then she started her own daycare, Promising Education Daycare. And then she went from teaching college kids to teaching little kids the fundamentals, phonics.
Okay.
The fundamentals of reading and writing. And that level of watching her be a continuous student.
Yes.
Placed a drive in me around continuous learning.
That's amazing. Okay.
So a lot of times it's not about all the degrees you get, which are important, Dr. Chatters, as I address you in that manner.
Yeah.
But what I always say is you have to learn continuously. You got to get better every day. And you got to learn.
Yes, sir.
It's not just about educational learning.
Right.
It's life learning.
Yes, absolutely.
It's learning in your trade, whatever your trade is. The level of intensity around your learning has to be just wicked.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Wicked.
Absolutely. So Sedalia, North Carolina.
Yeah.
So
Palmer Institute.
Palmer Institute. And then where did you actually grow up? Was it also in that same community, or
I grew up in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Greensboro. Okay.
Sedalia is not that far from Greensboro.
Okay.
But I grew up in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Okay. Okay. So take me back to the era. What years would that have been? Is that going to be like the 70s that you're growing up?
Man.
No.
60s.
Oh man, you look really young. I don't know. I thought okay.
60s.
Okay, so the 60s. So
I was
the 60s.
born in 63.
Born in 63. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
1963.
Yeah.
And let's just fast forward 10 years. So it's 73.
Yeah.
And you're there in Greensboro growing up as a little boy.
Yeah.
What are you doing on a daily basis? What is
Man.
little Tony doing on a daily
Little Tony
basis
on
in
a daily
Greensboro,
basis.
North Carolina, man?
At the time, my mother and father had gotten divorced.
Okay.
And my grandfather, Willie Lewis Davis, had passed away. And he left my mother some money.
Okay.
He did. And at the time, we were living in an apartment, a really tiny apartment. And the money that my grandfather left my mother was enough money for her her and my father at the time, because they were still together, to purchase a home.
Mm,
You know, for Black folks, typically the challenge around purchasing a home
Yes.
was coming up with the down payment.
Absolutely.
And all of a sudden they had the down payment. So we moved from that tiny apartment to a middle-class Black neighborhood, which was a pivotal point in my life.
Okay.
Because now all of a sudden I had a chance to see something different.
I see.
We
Okay.
moved to a neighborhood called Kings Forest. And across the street from me was a lawyer and a community activist, Walter and Yvonne Johnson.
Okay.
And Yvonne eventually became the very first Black mayor of Greensboro. So to put it in perspective, Greensboro is exactly the same size as Lincoln, Nebraska.
Oh, I see. Okay.
350,000 people.
350. Okay.
And I remember I would see Walter coming out of his house every day with a suit and tie.
Okay.
Would always have a suit and tie on.
Yes.
And typically I didn't see a suit and tie unless it was Sunday.
Right.
So why is this man wearing a suit and tie every day? I don't think he's going to preach every day,
Right.
but he's doing something. And I caught him one day coming out of the house. And I remember I said, Mr. Johnson, what do you do? And he had a briefcase. And he said, he called me son because he was also really good friends with my natural father.
Okay.
And he said, well, son, I'm a lawyer. And I'm the parole commissioner for the state of North Carolina.
Okay.
And I'm an entrepreneur.
Oh,
I have
wow.
my own business.
Okay.
He had a chemical company, Barjo Chemical Company, that produced toilet bowl cleaners. And so as I'm looking at him, I could see something on his shirt. And I said, what are those little things on your shirt? And he held his arms up and he said, they're cufflinks. And he took those cufflinks out of his shirt.
Yes.
Now he's probably late for work,
Okay.
dealing with a little kid. And he put those cufflinks in my hand, and I held those cufflinks and I looked at that shirt. I said, Mr. Johnson, one day when I get big, I'm gonna wear a shirt just like that.
Wow.
So every day you see me in these cufflinks,
Yes.
just know it's a tribute to Walter Johnson, because that man changed my life.
Oh, that's
you know?
amazing.
So I knew at that point, because 73, I'm in the 3rd grade.
Yes.
I knew at that point that that's what I wanted. That's the image I wanted to portray
Yes.
every day. And I'm rarely out of a suit and tie.
I know.
I
I
called
know.
you this morning to ask you, was I supposed to wear a suit and tie? You said I didn't have to.
Listen, that's a wonderful story.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
a
a
true
wonderful story. And you know, one of the things I know about you is that your image matters. And when you walk outside of that house, you are buttoned up. And
That came from my mother.
I was always wondering,
Came from Laverne.
where did that come from? Because I
Yeah.
know you curate your clothing collection and you make sure that your image is pristine. And it's something that I noticed about you. It's amazing to me to get the opportunity to hear the beginning
Yeah.
of that journey, because
Yeah.
I always wondered, I said, man, something about this man, he really cares about, you know, what he wears. You are always just dressed to the nines, as they say. And so to hear about the importance, first of all, of your mother
Mhm.
getting some generational wealth handed to her as your grandfather passed,
Yeah, he
and
did.
that helping to lift you all out of your situation so you could make a down payment and move to that other neighborhood
Sure.
where you could see well beyond your current circumstances.
100%.
I mean, that's amazing to dig deeper into that journey.
Yeah.
So that's outstanding. So not 1973, we went to 73.
Yeah.
You're in Greensboro.
Now, you ask about my dress. I got to tell you.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
When I think I may have been in maybe the 3rd or the 4th grade. My mother gave me this book. It was called Dress for Success.
Okay.
And she was buttoned up too.
Okay.
Laverne was always buttoned up. But she always said, when you walk out of this house, don't embarrass me.
Mm.
Don't embarrass me.
I think a lot of us have heard that.
Yeah, she was maniacal about that. And that meant a few things. That meant the way you look,
Yes.
and the way you act.
Absolutely.
So from there, I became pretty maniacal about brand, because that's all she was saying in her way.
That's right.
Like, the brand of your family matters.
Absolutely.
It matters. Your reputation matters. The way you carry yourselves, it matters.
Absolutely.
So as a kid, you know, if I was walking out of the house and it wasn't up to her standards,
Yes.
then that meant I had to come back in.
I see.
Now, and the thing about it was, there was no negotiating with
That's
Laverne.
right. That's right.
There was
You knew.
I see these kids negotiating with their parents.
You're like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
You were not negotiating with Laverne Goins. It was just
Right.
non-negotiable.
Yes.
So she wanted to make sure that me and my 2 sisters, Robin and Phyllis, that we portrayed ourselves in a way that was reflective of who she was.
Yes.
It was reflective of who she was. So my personal appearance, she gave me that book, Dress for Success. I remember I read the book and it just talked about your personal appearance. And then, at home, listen, we were kids, we got in trouble.
Right.
But she would always say, this stays in the house.
Okay.
This stays in the house.
Yeah.
Don't embarrass me. We go to a grocery store. Oh, we were like little soldiers.
Yes.
We weren't out of line.
Soldiers.
Yeah.
So yeah, and speaking of just that concept of being buttoned up and demonstrating respect to your elders and recognizing the importance of your reputation. That's right. That's right. And I know
yes, ma'am.
Listen, I'll tell you what, and those are some of the things, the nuances that a lot of folks grew up with in the South. And I think that coming out of our household, some of us were already somewhat primed to go into the military, right?
Yeah.
Because we understood this concept of listening to authority.
That's right.
And following the rules and doing what we are told. And I think that sets a lot of us up to have that opportunity to go into the military. So can you walk us into, from Greensboro, North Carolina, how do you get into the United States Marine Corps? Tell us that story.
United States Marine Corps. Well, that story really happened. So, first of all, I did well in school.
Yes.
Now I'm in high school. And because Laverne was a teacher, I didn't have an option. I had to do well in school.
I see.
That was a non-negotiable. You just didn't bring certain grades home to Laverne.
That's right.
Because that would have been a very bad scenario. But my junior year in high school, I became a father.
Okay.
Became a dad my junior year in high school. And my daughter, Tanika Shemaine Goins.
Mm-hmm.
Now I affectionately call her Dr. Tony Goins Brockman.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I got to sit in that for a minute.
You have to sit in that for a minute. Just take your time. Take your time. It's okay.
I think because what I would tell you is that becoming a father at 17 is something that's heavy, especially for a kid, because that's all I was,
Yes.
And I had to make some real tough decisions.
Yeah.
Because even though my mother had, we were in that home, we didn't come from wealth.
I see.
Okay.
Yes.
And that kid had to be taken care of.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I am first and foremost is a protector.
Yes.
And a provider. A lot of the emotional squishy stuff, Laverne didn't display that at home.
I see.
That was her way.
Right.
It was no bunch of love and all those kind of conversations, but we knew she loved us because she demonstrated it through providing for her.
Yes.
So now I know that it's a non-negotiable. I couldn't depend on people to help from a financial standpoint.
Right.
And I remember the turning point was I was working at Winn-Dixie, which was a little store, little grocery store, and I was bagging groceries. And so that's how I made my little money. And I had to take my child to the doctor, and I didn't have insurance.
Okay.
So I had to pay for it out of pocket right then. And I had just enough money to make that payment. And I knew that if something catastrophic happened and she got sick,
right,
I didn't know anything about, I don't think there was no Medicaid, Medicare. I didn't know anything about any of that.
Those safety nets, right.
No safety nets.
Yeah.
So I got to figure this thing out. Like, I really got to figure this thing out. And her mom was a wonderful woman, still is. And I got to figure this thing out. And so I remember my dear friend, Dwayne Whiteside, I saw him running around the block one day, and he looked like 10 sizes smaller than he was.
Okay.
I hadn't seen him in a while. And so I stopped him. I said, Dwayne, what did you do? He said, I joined the Marine Corps. I said, you did what? He said, I joined the Marine Corps. I said, tell me about this Marine Corps thing. So he shared with me, his journey through the Marine Corps, what he had done. And I was amazed by his discipline.
Okay.
And I was amazed by, just, he looked like he had changed person.
Yes.
And I said, if I join the Marine Corps, do I get insurance?
that was on your mind, right?
That was on my mind.
Right.
I needed insurance.
Yes.
I needed insurance.
Absolutely.
And he said, yeah, you get insurance. I said, do my kids get insurance? He said, you got a kid? I said, yeah, I got a daughter. He said, yeah, she get insurance too. I said, okay, take me to see Gunny Davis.
Oh, wow. Went straight to the Gunny.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Listen, in life,
yes,
you got to figure things out.
That's right.
So
That's
17,
right.
I had to figure it out. So Gunny Davis was the solution to the scenario.
Yes, sir.
So I go see Gunny Sergeant Davis, and he asked me a lot of questions. And he said, you're 17, so we got to get your parents to sign for you to join the Marine Corps. And I said, well, I'm telling you right now, you're just going to have to wait till I turn 18 because my mother's not going to sign.
Laverne's not going to let you go.
Not going to sign. She's not going to sign.
Right.
I said, we can get my dad to sign.
Yes.
Bobby will sign. So, because he was in the Air Force.
Okay.
So we go to his house first.
Okay.
He signs. And I was so, I don't know. I said, I'm not gonna ask Laverne. I said, I'll let you go ask him. Now, Gunnery Sergeant David was 6'8".
Oh my goodness.
He was 6'8", 260 pounds. And Laverne was about 5'3".
Oh my goodness.
So he, in his mind, he says, I think I can influence her to sign. I said, okay, you go try that. So he drives over to Smith High School with these papers to get Laverne to sign. And he came back with his tail tucked.
Oh my goodness. He didn't realize she was 6'9".
Yeah, she was 6'9".
Right. She was 6'9".
She wasn't gonna sign.
That's right.
She wasn't gonna sign. She was firm about that. She didn't want me to go to the Marine Corps. She wanted me to go to college.
Okay.
That was her way. She did not want me to go to the Marine Corps. No way, no way, no way. I said, but this is my option. So on my 18th birthday, December 6, 1981, Gunny picked me up and he took me to Charlotte, North Carolina. And he told me all of the risk and the ramifications. There's not a real war going on right now, but chances are you could lose your life.
Wow.
Chances are you could lose your life. You know,
yes.
When you join these organizations, specifically the military.
Yes.
I mean, you are trained in the art of war.
Absolutely.
That's what you're trained to do.
Prepared to kill, prepared to die.
That's what it is. So now at 18, I got to digest that. But at the end of the day, there's no option.
Right.
Okay. This is the best option.
Yes, sir.
And so I signed a contract. I swore in for the Marine Corps. So that was December 6, 1981. That was my 18th birthday.
Okay.
And I shipped to Parris Island, South Carolina on July the 5th, 1982.
Wow.
And from there, the journey in the Marine Corps started to materialize. I was a battalion legal clerk and a legal, I started off in administration. Then I went back to infantry training school.
Okay.
And in ITS at Camp Geiger, I was trained to become an M60 machine gunner.
Wow.
The M60 machine gun is one of the most powerful weapons on the battlefield. The life expectancy for a machine gunner in a time of war is about 3 seconds.
Oh my goodness.
Because what the enemy seeks to do is you got to take out the most lethal weapon on the opposition side. And that was the M60 machine gun.
Wow.
And in my mind, if by chance I have to go to war, I want to go to war with the most deadliest piece of firepower that I can have. And that was the M60 machine gun. So I trained, I became an M60 machine gunner. I was a pristine Marine. In 2.5 years, I picked up the rank of sergeant.
Oh my goodness.
I picked up Lance Corporal in less than 2 years. And then I was sent to NCO school, Non-Commissioned Officers Leadership Academy. And I remember the sergeant major said to me, if you graduate #1 from this school, then we'll meritoriously promote you to sergeant. So that's all I needed to hear, because now I got a family, I got a wife, I've got a daughter. Now I got to provide. So I was driven by economics.
Yes.
Driven by economics.
And we'll talk more about that when we come back. Ladies and gentlemen, you are just listening to The Law of Lift today, and it is just amazing, Tony, to hear all these stories so far, and we really look forward to hearing more from you when we come back on the other side of this break.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Play ball!
Pitch the perfect idea for a family outing or date night with tickets to the next Salt Dogs game. Nothing says summer fun like an action-packed evening at Haymarket Park. Come root for the home team with a hot dog and a cold drink. Plus, visit saltdogs.com to learn about special events and promotions, including group discounts. Don't miss out on the thrill and excitement of a Salt Dogs win. Visit saltdogs.com to reserve your tickets today.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Get the baler you need without breaking the bank at Landmark Implement. Right now, qualified buyers can get 0% fixed for 36 months or stretch it out with a 2.9% fixed rate for 60 months on used John Deere 560M and R-Series round balers. Reliable, field-ready, and priced to move. Don't miss your chance to lock in serious savings before the next cutting rolls around. Visit your local Landmark Implement or head to landmarkimp.com today and experience the Landmark difference.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed a tear for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Treads Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Treads Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Treads Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Yeah, I don't want to hate on Joe Burrow. He's clearly in this tier. I think he's the bottom of this tier. I would go Alan Jackson and then Burrow.
He should be a politician. Just convinced.
You know what I'm saying? You see what he did?
Yeah, he didn't have
He's doing all the time. It's tricky, man.
Keep going, Jay.
No,
You're speaking my language. You're speaking my language. Come on.
You didn't let him get you, Jay. I can't believe you let him get you again. God,
Every weekday from 3 to 5 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to the Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and I don't know if you're experiencing what I'm experiencing, but I'm just absolutely honored to have this gentleman in the studio right now because he is dropping some absolute knowledge on us. He's talking about his past. He's given us an idea about what makes him who he is. Yeah. We've already heard a lot about this amazing woman, Laverne, and how she poured so much into you.
She did.
And, you know, just how foreboding she was as a presence in your life.
Yeah.
Enough so that she stopped you from going into the Marine Corps for a little bit, right?
She did. Now,
Which is amazing.
Yeah. Now, after I joined, I mean,
She was supportive.
she was supportive, but she always wanted me out.
Which would make sense because,
She
again, we
always
talked
wanted
about
me
how dangerous it is.
Yeah, she always wanted me out.
Yeah.
My grandmother wanted me out probably more than her. I mean,
I see.
would hear from my grandmother, Mabel. We call her KK.
Okay.
Every day. Like let me tell you how maniacal she was. She as a grandmother, older woman, she had a calendar that had all 4 years.
All right.
She knew exactly when I was supposed to get out.
Oh my goodness. She was counting down the days.
She was.
Wow.
She knew exactly when I was supposed to get out. Now, they were proud of me in terms of
absolutely
being in the Marine Corps.
Right.
But neither one of them wanted me to stay.
That makes sense. And I understand that sentiment because I
Sure.
think, at the bottom of, at the base of all of that, the foundation of that was you being safe.
With me
and you
safe.
surviving, right?
Safe, yeah, safe and survival.
Absolutely. So tell me, I mean, first of all, you talked about the M60 and folks who don't understand anything about military machinery, just Google M60. You're going to see an amazing weapon that is made for nothing but destruction.
Nothing but
and
destruction.
The person who's running that thing, I mean, the other side is basically like, we need to take care of that person, right?
That's right.
And I'm
That's
sure the Marine Corps' idea is, and we're going to replace that person when that person's gone, and we're going to keep firing this thing, right?
That's right.
That's
right.
So again,
and that's a different mindset.
It is a different mindset.
Like you're in a different mindset, and that
Yes.
mindset never leaves you.
That's right. That's
never
right.
leaves you.
And that makes sense. And so talk to us about what it was like to serve in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Because, one of the concepts in the Marine Corps, which I learned in working with the officers here in Lincoln, because, we did some leadership work together and I learned a lot from the Marine Corps. And this is why I have such respect for the Corps, because they have this concept of it doesn't matter what your race is, your gender,
right.
none of that stuff.
That's
We're
right.
all green.
All
That's
green.
what they say. We're all green.
All green.
And that's really, to me, this concept of, hey, everybody around you is your brothers and your sisters.
That's right.
We're all fighting for the same thing.
That's right.
And we're all going to figure out how to work together so
That's
that we
right.
can accomplish our goal.
That's right. That's right.
And so tell me, what was that like for you coming out of Greensboro, North Carolina? You grew up in a certain space. You came in contact, I guess, I'm sure at Parris Island with people from all over the country.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you got to serve with them. So what was that like?
Semper Fidelis. Always,
Always
faithful.
Yes,
to
sir.
God, Corps, and the country.
I see.
And so if you're a Marine, just like you said, Lawrence, you're all green. There are no black Marines. There are no white Marines. There are no Asian Marines. There are no Latino Marines. You're all green.
Yes.
So what that taught me at a young age was the true concept of teamwork.
I see.
The true concept of working together to accomplish a singular goal and doing what is necessary in order to execute at a high level.
Wow.
And execute in a system, because you got to think, you got 18, 19-year-old kids.
Yes.
Dealing with a macro complex situations.
Yes.
Macro complex situations. And extremely dangerous.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, you got to train them so that they are literally brainwashed.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to put in place a system by which they can operate that minimizes the opportunity for something bad to happen.
I see. Okay.
And that's the system of the Marine Corps. It is a real system. And for me, as I stated, I picked up sergeant very quickly once I found out
Yes.
that I could become, if I was the number one graduate out of the Non-Commissioned Officers Leadership Academy. And so I asked him, I went to our payroll because I wanted to see what kind of pay increase that would be.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, it was really driven by
That's right.
economics.
That's right.
It was
Economics. Yes, sir.
economics.
Yes, sir.
I needed more economics to do a better job in taking care of my family.
Absolutely.
And I saw the number and I said, okay, this is all I needed to see.
That's all you needed to
this
see.
number.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I started training. I ran 12 miles a day.
Oh my goodness.
I called my track coach because I needed to max out the physical fitness tests. And that was 80 sit-ups in 2 minutes, 20 pull-ups. And I could do that, but I never could get my 3-mile run under 18 minutes.
I see.
And so my track coach said, you need to start swimming in order to
Oh,
build
wow.
your lungs up.
Okay.
And I knew that in NCO school, the only way I had the potential to be the number one grad is I had to get my run under 18 minutes. Now I'm relating that to that number,
Yes,
to that
sir.
economic number.
That's right. That's right. Because it was worth something. Under
was-
18 minutes was worth something.
Was worth something.
Yes, sir.
It had an economic impact.
Yes.
And so I started training. I started studying, and I did what was necessary around preparation. And true enough, through hard work, the grace of God, I was the honor grad. So I was only a E4 corporal
Wow.
for about 90 days. Now I'm the #1 grad out of NCO school. And it also gave me a level of confidence that I knew at that point, because now you're competing against the elite of the elite. So if I can be #1 with the elite of the elite, then from a confidence perspective,
Yes.
then I got something going on here. There's a there.
Yes, sir.
So I pinned on my E5, and in the Marine Corps, 3 stripes up, cross rifles in the center is one of the most respected ranks in the Marine Corps, because you're commanding troops.
I see.
And there's a level of influence, but there's also a level of leadership and a level of influence that you have in terms of what you're doing.
I see. So
Yeah.
you get to that E5 level, and all this time, I mean, and folks, don't forget, this gentleman is not like in his 20s. He's a teen for the first few years still.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you roll into your 20s, and you are an E5 at the age of 22.
21.
Oh my goodness.
21.
You guys, like, you have to understand, like, an E5 in the Marine Corps at 21
Yeah.
is outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding. And just the story about you recognizing what you wanted to accomplish and figuring out, okay, I have to increase my lung capacity. I mean, you have to swim, which, you know, most of us
Which
don't
I didn't
swim.
like to
That's
swim.
right. None of us
I
like
didn't
to swim. So, you know,
I don't swim now.
Exactly.
I
I'm
was
not
not
going to
a
go
fan.
swim for exercise. I will run, but I will not swim. Okay. Because,
Right.
you know, there's just something about it. So, but you found what your objective was, and you went after it, and you accomplished it.
I did.
And so that, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening, and you can imagine something, and you can really do the research on it now, and there's a lot of other opportunities now to do research on how to do something.
Sure.
Back then, there wasn't that. You had to go ask somebody.
Spaceman.
Man.
Greensboro, North Carolina.
So
my little track coach.
Man, so you get to that point where now you're an E5, and talk to us about when you decide to get out of the Marine Corps,
yeah.
and you had served your 4 years, and listen, KK is at home.
She is
celebrating because she is going to be able to greet you back in Greensboro after
She
your
is.
successful military career. So tell me about how
Yeah.
you ended up deciding to move on.
So this little old lady is at church, and my church sister, Cammie Burnett.
Yes.
Cammie Burnett had gotten a job at American Express.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
in my grandmother's head, you want to talk about networking? She said, I'm gonna go talk to Cammie Burnett about Tony getting a job at American Express. So Cammie gets an application. My grandmother gets this application. She mails the application to me at Camp Lejeune.
Oh my goodness.
She did.
Okay.
She mailed the application to me at Camp Lejeune. And I said, American Express? What am I going to do at American Express?
Right.
So I fill the application out. I send application in. I get out. I didn't get the job immediately. We moved back to Greensboro, moved to this little neighborhood, Creek Bend. And by this time, I had a son also, Anthony II. He was born in Jacksonville.
Okay.
July 12th.
Okay.
In 1986.
Okay.
And I got out October 6th of 1986.
Okay. Okay.
So now I got to figure out how to take
Seriously.
care of
Right.
another kid, a wife, and a whole family. And I'm 20, 22, 23.
Oh my goodness.
So I got to figure this part out.
Right.
And so I took a brief stint working at the post office, unloading trucks, and then American Express called me.
Okay.
After my grandmother's persistence.
Right.
And I go in and I apply for a job as a kind of like an operator around approving cards.
Okay.
Charges. And they say you're not qualified to do this job, but we got a job you are qualified for, and you can be a security guard. I said, a security guard? I said, yeah, you can be a security guard. And I said, well, how much does that pay? It says $6 and a penny an hour.
Okay. And for context,
boy.
this is 1986, right?
1986.
Okay. So
Yeah.
is $6 and a penny good? I mean,
No.
No. Okay. All right.
No,
All right.
it's
Just
terrible.
wondering. It's terrible. Okay.
Terrible. Now you got to figure out how to manage $6 and a penny an hour.
Right.
And take care of a wife and 2 kids.
Wow.
Well, that math don't work.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a part-time job my good friend Mike Johnson worked at a trucking company. So he got me a part-time job. So I did the security during the daytime, and then I would leave that job and go unload trucks. Unload trucks.
Wow.
You want to talk about some hard work?
Seriously, yeah.
Unloading those trucks.
Yeah.
But that gave me another $6.
Okay.
So now I'm at $12.
So you doubled up. Okay.
I doubled up.
Okay. Yes, sir.
You gotta figure it out.
That's right. That's right.
I got very little patience for people that are in situations and just sit there and grovel about it.
That's right.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, what are we talking about? Figure it out.
Action.
Action.
Yes, sir.
Figure it out. Find a way to get it done. And so I'm doing this security job during the day. I'm unloading trucks at night. And there was a director. Now, this is 6,000 people on this campus.
Okay.
And there was a director there. His name was Malcolm Mitchell. And Malcolm, about 6'7", and he would come to work every day and I would check his badge. Now, there were very, very, very few. I mean, I think there were only 3, maybe 2 black males.
Okay.
Out of all these 6,000 people.
Oh my goodness.
And Malcolm would pay attention to me. One of the reasons he paid attention to me was because of my personal appearance. So I remember when they gave me the security guard uniform.
Yes.
It was scrumpy.
Right.
It didn't fit right. And my cousin, who I call her my aunt, Yvonne Holloway, I took it to her and she kind of tailored it up, made it look nice.
Right.
And
because I mean, you're just getting out the Marines. You're cut out of rock right now, right?
Yeah,
yes,
I was pretty trimmed.
So
she trimmed that thing up, and I would wear my polished shoes. So when I'm standing at the front desk, I felt like I had my Marine Corps uniform on because it fit the right way.
Yes.
And all the other security guards had scrumpy uniforms.
Right. So you always stuck out because of your appearance.
Yeah, because of my appearance.
Yes.
So Malcolm noticed that, and he said, "You're a sharp young man. You think you could do something else other than guard this desk?" I said, "Well, Malcolm, I don't know what you guys are doing up there, but this $6 and 1 penny an hour is a little tough right now."
That's right.
So he brings me upstairs one day and he allows me to shadow another credit authorizer.
Okay.
And his name was Miguel Soto. And I sat next to Miguel Soto, and this was in 1987. I think I've been doing security for about a year. And I took very copious notes and I watched what Miguel was doing. Yes. And one of the gifts that I had really nurtured through my mother was just being able to analytics.
Yes, sir.
And so I analyzed what he did. I went back in the office. I sat down with Malcolm and I systematically listed, here are the things that he did, and here's why this is important, and here's the goals, and here's the objectives. And he looked at me, he said, "You learned all of that in 2 hours."
Oh my goodness.
I said, "Yes, sir, I did." He said, he goes to human resources the very next day and he tells the head of human resources that I'm going to hire the security guard to be a credit authorizer.
Oh my goodness.
And she listed all of the qualifications that I did not have.
That's right.
I had none of the qualifications. I didn't meet any other criteria. And Malcolm said, "It's my choice. Something special about this kid." So he hires me as a credit authorizer.
And ladies and gentlemen, what you're hearing today is you're hearing the law of lift. You're hearing how this man has been able to, through the grace of God, manifest things and make them happen. And we're going to hear more after we come back from this break from Anthony Goins. He's just out of the Marine Corps. Now he's working at American Express and he's moving on up. We'll hear more from him after this break.
Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Lights out? Let LES know where to go. Powerline matches your phone number to your service address so LES can respond to outages faster. Keep your information up to date at les.com/powerline.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone and Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln with more exciting news for area car buyers.
Charlie, it's just announced that Honda of Lincoln has won 3 of the Lincoln Journal-Star's Lincoln Choice Awards: Best New Car Dealer, Best Auto Repair, and Best Place to Get Your Oil Changed.
Wow, that's great, Andy. Anything else?
Yes, we were runner-up for Best Pre-Owned Dealer and Best Tire Dealer. A lot of people don't understand that we do sell tires here.
Very exciting, Andy. Why do you think your dealership is winning so many awards?
Charlie, we simply say it's the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business.
Looks like Honda of Lincoln is the great news headquarters for Lincoln.
Yes, and even all of Nebraska, we are also announcing that Honda of Lincoln's the only dealer in the state of Nebraska to win the prestigious Honda President's Award for 2024.
Honda of Lincoln, Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Now back to the Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Lincoln, Nebraska, you are back on 93.7 The Ticket with Dr. Lawrence Chatters, and I have Anthony Goins in the studio today, and he is just telling us some stories about his past and how he has gotten to where he is now. And again, it is through the grace of God.
100.
Today is not about self-glorification.
Nope.
It is about just talking about his story and his journey. And so really appreciate you being here. And we're just getting back into it. So you're at American Express. You start out there as a security guard.
Yeah.
And this gentleman sees you and he sees what you can be, not what you are.
That's correct.
And somehow you are able to utilize your analytic skills. You review what a person who's doing the credit approving is doing. And that guy is so impressed that the next day he goes to HR and says, hey, we need to promote this guy immediately.
Yeah.
Right.
That
And so it happens. And so talk to us about the rest of your time at American Express.
Yeah, so we're fast tracked. So now I get the job and I have to go through credit authorization school, which back then you didn't have laptops and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
There was these super thick binders. And I remember I was taking those binders home every night because competitively, I've got to make sure that everyone knows that Malcolm didn't just give me something.
That's right.
That I've got to perform.
Yes,
and I have
sir.
to exceed expectations. My mother used to always say, deliver more than what is expected.
I like that.
That's another Lavernism.
Yes.
Deliver more than what is expected. So you can't just deliver what is expected. You got to deliver more than what is expected. So I would go home, I would study, I would come to class. It was about a 90-day course. And I finished in the top percentile of the classroom.
Excellent.
And once you get out of that training, now it's time to go execute.
Okay.
You got to operationalize what you learn. You know, I see a lot of kids and a lot of people, they learn something, but they can't operationalize it. Like, can you really put it into action and make it happen?
Yes.
So now I'm on the floor. It's time to operate within a very short period of time. I'm in the top percentile of credit authorization.
Oh my goodness.
Leaders
Okay.
across American Express. I get promoted really fast. I did attend college, North Carolina A&T State University for 2 years. But I didn't finish.
Okay.
You know, the promotion started coming. I'm driven by economics.
Yes.
Because now all of a sudden, now I can quit my part-time job. I stopped unloading the trucks.
No more unloading the trucks.
No more unloading the trucks.
All right.
You know, now I'm making, I think $9 an hour, maybe $10 an hour. So $20,000 a year.
Okay.
That was a big deal back then. At least it was for me.
Yes.
It allowed me to move my family out of that little apartment, and I bought my first home.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, 1413 North English Street.
Okay.
Bought my first home. And I think it was around 24, 25 at the time.
Wow.
So we buy a little house of $50,000, about 1,300 square feet.
Okay.
My little house payment was $500 a month.
Man.
But it didn't matter. Now I'm a homeowner.
That's right.
Which was important.
You had an asset.
I had an asset.
Yes.
I had an asset. And so fast track, 9 years at American Express, I'm promoted to, it was kind of like a director of operations. And so I had about 15, 20 people on my team. And Malcolm calls me again, another opportunity. And he calls me and he says, come see me in Chesapeake, Virginia. So I drive down Chesapeake. I have a chance to see Malcolm. We tour this facility. The company was called QVC.
Okay.
And I'm looking at this large campus. And then we walk into Malcolm's office. Malcolm's office was actually larger than this studio we're sitting in right now.
Okay.
And I said, Malcolm, what do you do here? I said, where's your boss? He said, he's in Westchester, Pennsylvania. I said, so you handle all of this? He said, this whole campus? He said, yeah. And he says, I want you to come work for me.
Oh, wow.
I said, well, what do you want me to do? He says, I want you to lead part of the operation. I said, okay, what does it entail? How many people? He said, about 700 people.
Oh my goodness.
I said, Malcolm, 700 people? He said, yeah. And I was a little leery about it at first. And he says, listen, remember when you were a security guard? I said, yeah. He says, don't worry about it. You have the capacity to do this. So I trusted him. And so I took the job.
Yeah.
Relocated from Greensboro to Chesapeake.
Okay.
And now all of a sudden I'm working for Sue Wilkerson and Malcolm Mitchell, and two phenomenal people that poured into me.
Yes.
And helped me to understand the fundamentals of business, the fundamentals of execution.
I see.
Sue Wilkerson was my first boss that was my coach. And Malcolm Mitchell had this system called the 7 Principles of Success.
I see.
7 PS. I still use it to this day. And it was a fundamental system that really underpinned execution. And Sue Wilkerson had this level of intensity around coaching and accountability that I still use to this day.
That's amazing. So the 7 principles of success,
Yeah,
something that
7
still
PS.
drives you to this day. Ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen, you are listening to Tony Goins right now on 93.7 The Ticket, The Law of Lift. I hope you are feeling yourself lift up right now. We'll be back at the top of next hour.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's. 435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to The Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters. Real stories, powerful insights, and weekly inspiration to help you rise above life's challenges. Let's lift off with Dr. Lawrence Chatters on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yes, we are back. We are back on The Law of Lift. It's just an amazing day. It's a beautiful day. We're sitting here right off of O Street in Lincoln, Nebraska, watching the cars drive by, and I have an absolutely amazing guest in the studio with me today, Tony Goins, and he's walking us through his life right now and all of his experiences. And you know, he's talking to us about taking this leap from American Express, where he was working, and now he's going to be moving to Chesapeake, Virginia, and he's going to be at QVC. And we all know about QVC because if you're of a certain age, everybody has been on TV and seen people modeling things. And I'm assuming this is the same QVC, right?
It is.
Okay, all right.
It's the same one.
It's the home shopping network type, you know, people, you know, showing you stuff and you purchasing that stuff off the TV. And so during this time frame, though, I'm sure that this organization was just absolutely raking in the funds, right?
It was on fire.
And so
on fire.
New concept, live TV all day long,
All
basically,
day,
right?
24/7.
You just have people that are selling and people were consuming. And
absolutely.
And so you're there and you're just talking a little bit. We were talking during the break about the challenges of like moving up in leadership and having to take on more people. And you talked about leadership at scale.
Leadership at scale.
And I love that concept because I think a lot of people, they feel like, okay, first of all, and we understand this, you have to lead yourself.
You do.
Right?
That's right.
And then if you are blessed enough and you have the opportunity, you might happen to have a significant other, a partner in life, you can lead your family.
That's right.
Right? And then you lead other people. And so talk to us about your journey of just really conquering this idea of leadership at scale and moving to that next level at QVC.
Yeah. So I get there Sue Wilkerson, I worked for her, and Sue worked for Malcolm. And she was a teacher. She was a teacher. There were a lot of similarities in Sue and my mother.
I see.
There were a ton of similarities
Mm-hmm.
between the two of them. And so the concept around coaching and training and holding people accountable, I learned that from Sue Wilkerson. In terms of leadership at scale, so now I got layers.
Okay.
So I've got managers that report to me, and then there's supervisors that report to the managers, and then there are 10 or 12 people that report to the supervisors.
Okay. Wow.
So you have to make sure that all of those 700 people are aligned and delivering specific results that are financial results and results that create the highest level of customer satisfaction. And so I would always calibrate with Sue and with Malcolm.
Mhm.
What are the 5 things we need to accomplish? And I was maniacal about driving those 5 things down throughout the organization.
Okay.
Small round tables,
Yes.
town hall meetings, lots of communication up and down, creating trust in the organization,
Mhm.
and just creating a culture by which we had the opportunity to deliver in a very fast-paced environment. Because like you said, it was 24/7. It never
Yes.
stopped.
Right.
George Foreman, I remember when he launched that George Foreman grill.
Yes.
The whole system blew up
I
because
see.
nobody had any idea that grill was going to take off at that level.
Okay.
So you got to manage this volume. You got to manage. You got to do it all. So that's what I did.
Wow.
I learned a lot at that job. I
Wow.
really did.
That's amazing. So take us to the time frame that you're at QVC, because you're at American Express 9 years. And so,
Yeah.
but what was the time frame as far as like what years would you have said you would have been at QVC?
QVC was probably 94,
Okay.
93, 94 to 97.
Okay. Okay.
So 3 years, I get a call from an executive recruiter
Yes.
about a job in Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Key Bank.
Okay.
Which it's a super regional bank. So I fly out for the interview. I shared it with Sue. I didn't share it with Malcolm initially.
Mhm.
And so I fly out for the interview, and I go through a series of pretty extensive interviews. And this was to be the vice president of a contact center operation and retail operation. And so anyway, I got the job.
Okay.
And then I came back and I had to share it with Malcolm.
I see.
And
how tough was that?
That was a tough conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't tell him. Sue went and told him.
I
And
see.
I said, "Can I go see Malcolm?" She said, "Not
No,
right now."
not right now. You're
She
gonna
said,
have to
"No."
wait. He's hot.
Yeah. He initially he was.
Right.
And so finally I had a chance to talk to him, and he said, "Tony, I don't understand why you're doing this. I got a great path you here at QVC." And I said, "Malcolm, I feel the need to expand." And it was, again, it was economics. It was significantly more financially.
Yes.
And I said, "Malcolm, I'm going to need you more now
Right.
in this new position than I have." Because you got to think, I basically worked my entire professional career under Malcolm Mitchell.
Yes.
And now all of a sudden I'm leaving his nest. I'm leaving his coverage.
I see.
And we both got emotional. He hugged and he says, "Man, I'm proud of you."
Oh, wow.
So I needed that as
Yes.
I went to Cleveland as a point of validation.
Yeah.
And the Cleveland Center for KeyBank was the worst performing center. And they told me during the interview that if you don't turn this around,
Right.
then we're going to shut it down.
Oh my goodness.
So that was a risk.
Yeah.
So long story short, I went to Cleveland. I turned my directs over. It's a large operation. We go from the worst performing operation to the number one performing operation.
Wow.
Number one. We're the best performing operation in the firm. The dot-com crisis hits in 2000.
Okay.
And Key was heavily invested in some of those dot-com companies.
I see.
So the stock price dropped dramatically. The revenue dropped dramatically. And we had to do a layoff.
Oh, wow.
And even though we were the number one performing center,
Right.
I got tapped on the shoulder to close my whole site down.
Oh my goodness.
And I'd never done a mass layoff before. And so now you got to muster the strength.
Yes.
And created this great operation, and now you got to lay everybody off.
Wow.
And so I remember the night before the layoff, I was told I couldn't talk to anyone, but I was not going to let my direct reports. And I had 4 Black women that were my direct reports.
I see.
And they had followed me through the fire, and we had turned this operation around. So I called them the night before, and I said, "Meet me at the site." This is about 8:00 at night.
Mm-hmm.
And so Maddie, Keisha, Sharice, and Fran Moreland, they all met me at the site. And and we prayed. Wow. I said, tomorrow, we've got to shut this site down. 800 people are going to be without jobs.
Oh, my goodness.
But we're going to stand strong.
Right.
We're going to help every one of them find jobs. And we're going to conduct ourselves in a professional manner. Because there's certain people that don't know how we are going to act.
Right.
We're going to show them how we're going to act. So sure enough, the next morning came in, Sharice walks in, all of us walk in. Al Coppola asked if I wanted him to deliver the message. I said, no, Al, this is my responsibility. These 800 people trust me.
Wow.
I will deliver the message. So I stood up in front of those 800 people. I did my best not to get emotional.
Yeah.
I told them we're shutting this site down.
Oh, my goodness.
And I said, listen, we've won championships here. We're like the Chicago Bulls.
Right.
Every one of you will go somewhere and take what you've learned here in Cleveland, and you will elevate whatever team that you're a part of. We've created a legacy here. So this is not the end.
Yeah.
This is the beginning of something new.
Oh, man. So,
and they stood up and gave me a standing ovation.
Oh, my goodness. You're back there right now. You're back there right now, and you can see all those people's faces, and you have the support of those 4 women there with you.
Yeah.
And you've already told them, you've given them the news, and they recognize that it's,
And I remember Al Coppola said, I have never seen someone deliver a layoff message and get a standing ovation.
Wow. And they really trusted you. They trusted you. They believed that they were going to be able to go on to something better.
Yeah.
And I think, at our best and when we are truly deep in our faith, we recognize that we may not like what's happening to us, but it's a part of God's plan. And that somehow we're going to find our way, right?
We'll find a way.
Yeah.
We'll find a way.
Wow. So that must have been really challenging for you. And
yeah,
again, to go there and again, I'm sure your mentor was thinking to himself,
yeah,
well, look at what happened. Right?
I know. Yeah.
Right. Those things happen to us. And I think
things will happen in life, man.
They are. And I appreciate you talking about the relationship you had with him, because I think all of us, we have those mentors in our life, the people who help guide us. And they sometimes you kind of have to break away a little bit and go in your own direction.
You do.
So tell me what happens then at KeyBank after the .com bust and all these places.
Crisis.
Crisis.
Things
are shutting down.
.com bust. And if you remember 2000.
Yeah.
So all the technology was supposed to crash and burn.
That's right. Y2K.
Y2K.
Yes.
Yes. We had Y2K and the .com bust.
Oh, wow.
And those two things literally hurt KeyBank dramatically, which drove that layoff.
I see.
So I do the layoff, get a standing ovation, and then I literally pull all the groups together. We had a company that came in, helped those guys do their resumes, and I started making personal phone calls to try to help these people get jobs.
Wow.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm out of a job.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. But I get a call from an executive recruiter.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I had gone through a divorce.
Okay.
And listen, I'm a short version of this. Listen, the Marine Corps was great for me, but what I will say to you is that every person that serves, the intensity of that service, it causes some challenges.
Absolutely.
It causes some challenges.
Yeah.
Some good things and some not so good things.
Right.
They really are. And when I left the Marine Corps, I had some things that weren't so good.
I see.
It just weren't so good.
Okay.
I have apologized and been extremely remorseful for those things that were not so good.
Mm-hmm.
And they were not good. And to this day,
yeah,
I'm still remorseful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm dealing with all of that at the same time.
Yes.
Okay. But I get a call from an executive recruiter, and they didn't tell me who the firm was. So I fly down to Tampa, Florida to interview for this job.
Okay.
And the interview was at 1 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
Because this was the only time, and it was Korn Ferry International, which is one of the largest executive search firms in the world.
Yes.
At the time, it was the largest executive search firm in the world.
Okay.
So I'm interviewing with this guy at 1 o'clock in the morning in Tampa, Florida, in a hotel lobby.
Oh my goodness. 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock in the morning. Because that was the only time he could see me.
I see.
Now he's falling asleep during the interview, and I'm firing answers at him.
Right.
Because I'm prepared.
You're ready to go.
Like, I got to get something done.
Yes.
And I passed that interview, and so he takes my resume to the corporate headquarters. The company was Ford Motor Company.
Oh, wow.
It was in Dearborn, Michigan.
Okay.
Now, the president of global operations and technology, who was building this team on the credit side of Ford Motor Company, was a guy named Terry Chenault. Ironically, Terry Chenault had ran that site in Greensboro, North Carolina, American Express.
Really?
After
Wow.
21 years, Terry leaves Greensboro. He takes the job as the president of global operations and technology, and he's got to hire 8 site leaders to run these new super regional sites.
Okay.
And he sees my resume and he says, I know Tony Goins. Tony was in my site for 9 years at American Express. Fly me in and let's interview him.
Oh, wow.
So I walk into Terry's office. He says, we don't need to talk about the 9 years at Amex. Tell me what you've done since then. I shared with him what I did at QVC and KeyBank.
Right.
And Terry said, we're going to make you the number 2 man at our new site in Nashville, Tennessee. So I said, I accept the job.
Wow.
So they flew me into Dearborn to start negotiating the contract for the job. And over dinner in Dearborn, they slid me the contract. And they said, we've made a change. And I said, what's the change? They said, we were going to make you the number 2 man in Nashville.
Okay.
But now we're going to make you the number 1 leader. And you're going to start a brand new site in Greenville, South Carolina.
Oh, wow. So the whole location changed everything.
The location changed.
Okay. And your position changed. Yes.
And the pay change.
The pay change.
The
Yes.
economics.
The economics. Yes,
The
sir.
economics
Yes, sir.
changed. And at the time, I was going through a tough time, as I just shared.
Yes.
My vehicle had broken down. I had an Isuzu Rodeo.
Oh my goodness.
It was in the shop. I didn't have enough money to get it out of the shop. So I remember he asked me, he says, well, you're going to have to drive a Ford vehicle. He says, what are you driving now? I said, well, I have an Isuzu Rodeo.
Yeah.
And he says, will you get 2 company cars with this job?
Oh my goodness. 2 company cars.
2 company cars. And he slid me over the website. He says, go in and choose your vehicles. And you got 2 company cars.
Wow.
So what I will tell you is that in times in your life when the math doesn't add up,
yes,
then it forces you to understand that it was God.
Absolutely.
That was a part of that transformation.
Because that makes no sense.
Because that makes no sense.
Your car is in the shop.
It makes
and
no
you're going to
sense.
have to struggle to pay to get it out.
I was taking the bus to work, and then
Oh, my
sometimes
goodness.
Sharice would pick me up to take me to work.
Yeah.
KeyBank.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, I moved to Dearborn temporarily, and then they moved me to Greenville, South Carolina. I get a chance to start this brand new site.
Okay.
I get 2 company cars, and
wow,
that site in Greenville, we started it. We became the number 1 site in North America.
Wow.
We accomplished some really, really great things in terms of our metrics, our results. We won the President's Award, which is the highest award given to a site at Ford Motor Company. Bill Ford came in. A lot of people came in to celebrate. We did a huge celebration at the Westin Poinsett Hotel in downtown Greenville.
Wow.
So I got a promotion out of that, and I moved from Greenville, South Carolina to Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay.
To take on a larger site and a much
Okay.
larger portfolio.
And so these sites, are these car manufacturers or what?
Credit.
Credit. Okay.
Finance.
So Ford Motor Credit. Okay.
Ford Motor Credit.
Gotcha. So
Finance.
This is the folks who are crunching the numbers whenever someone comes in to buy a vehicle.
That's right. That's
Gotcha.
right.
Gotcha.
Whether it's a retail, whether it's lease, and then you have these large commercial deals, which are floor plan deals. So when you see all those cars sitting on the lot,
Yes.
Ford dealership,
Yes.
then all of that has been financed.
I see.
So-
For a dealership.
For
Okay.
a dealership.
Okay.
Yep.
That makes
So
sense.
the portfolio that I was accountable for in Greenville was about a $9.5 billion portfolio.
Oh my goodness.
The one I took over in Las Vegas, Henderson, Nevada, that was the West Coast operation. That was a $20 billion portfolio I was accountable for.
Wow.
And that was every state from Alaska all the way down to Hawaii,
Oh
the
my
left
goodness.
coast. Big site, big operation. The largest site,
Yes.
largest portfolio in all of Ford Credit, which at the time was about $160 billion credit operation, fully owned by Ford Motor Company.
Oh my goodness. So now you talk about leadership at scale.
Leadership at scale.
So we are just we're kind of going through these numbers here. So we go from 15, then we go to 700, then we go to KeyBank, where there's about 700-800 people. So
Yeah.
it seemed somewhat comparable.
Sure.
And then you go to this Greenville site, and how many people were there that you oversaw?
Greenville was about 800 people. But the difference was it was a standalone facility.
I see.
So, and I had to manage and lead the construction of the facility itself.
So
when
you
we
started
get
it from ground up.
From ground
Okay.
up. There's nothing there but grass.
Wow. Okay.
And we operated out of a trailer.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
And so I had to oversee and facilitate the construction of the facility, all the technology that went into the facility, and then putting all the teams in. We hired about 500 people from the local community,
Okay.
and we relocated 200 people that were already Ford Credit employees.
Okay.
So now you got to manage all these 200 people coming from all over the country.
Yes.
With these local 500 people, which was a cultural disaster.
Absolutely.
Initially,
I can imagine. Yeah.
but you got to get them all together and make sure that we win. So that was the site in Greenville.
Wow.
When I went to the site in Las Vegas, that site was already there.
I see.
And so that was.
But there were more people though. Probably
1,800.
1,800. Okay. So more people. And
1,800.
And so tell me, just take me into your mind where you're overseeing this site with 1,600 people. You wake up in the morning. What are some of the most persistent issues on your mind when you're working in a space like that? What are the things that are just causing you stress and headache as a leader of a place like that?
Well, I think top of agenda for me was culture.
I see.
You know, were we taking care of those 1,800 people so that they felt motivated to come to work?
I see. Okay.
You know, so we did a lot of coaching, lots of recognition, lots of things to make those 1,800 people feel extremely cohesive.
I see.
And how do you perform? And lots of alignment around here are the 5 things that we need to accomplish.
Okay.
And here are the numbers, and here's your balanced scorecard, and here are the trends.
I see.
Here are the losses. How do we minimize the losses? It was the first time I'd ever led a P&L.
Okay.
So I wasn't just leading the operations. I had the marketing side, I had the sales side. I had the revenue part of the business also. So I had revenue targets.
Gotcha.
My mentor, Seal Mahalik, put me in a position to lead the revenue side of the business, which is something I'd never done before.
Okay.
And so generating revenue, culture first. Are we taking great care of our customers? Are we making sure our customers are satisfied? Dealerships are our large clients. We had the Bachman family in California, largest Ford dealership in the country. Are we taking great care of the Bachman family? And are we delivering results? And then are we delivering the financial results?
Wow.
And then all of a sudden, I started to see losses trickle up.
Okay.
And I remember I was asking some of my teammates that were on the front line, because now I got a huge organization.
Right.
What are you seeing? They said, Tony, there's something going on that's not normal.
I see.
And it was actually the beginning of the 2007, 2008 financial crisis.
Wow.
So
people were over leveraged.
There was over leveraged.
Wow.
Yep. You could see foreclosures going up.
Yes.
Repossessions, voluntary repossessions going up. And I'm watching this analyst on CNBC, and he's talking about this crisis. So I ended up having a conversation with him. And I remember I called Detroit and I said, we got a problem. Because the financial crisis started on the West Coast.
I see.
So I saw it in my portfolio first. And I remember Terry Chenault saying, how bad is it? I said, Terry's bad. He says, well, how soon can we get it fixed? I said, no time soon.
Oh, wow.
No time soon. It's not going to get fixed no time soon. So he flew the entire executive team from Detroit, Michigan to my site in Henderson. And we had spent 3 days analyzing the tiers in the portfolio and the losses and the delinquencies. And it was clear it was the beginning of the financial crisis, which ended up, of course, spreading across the United States.
For
and then
sure.
ultimately spreading across the entire globe.
And this is where, again, the government had to come in and essentially bail out, right?
Yes.
These large motor companies. And so
Yeah.
you saw
With
that. You
I
saw
it.
that.
I was
Wow.
at the tip of the spear.
Wow.
So I saw all of that. And I remember Alan Mullally came in, and Ford Motor Company was able to get a large loan to put in reserves before the crisis actually hit.
Okay.
So General Motors took money from the government, so did Chrysler. Ford didn't take a dime
I see.
because of Mullally's leadership.
Wow.
So I was there when all that was happening.
Oh my goodness. And so basically what I hear you saying is that you all were starting to see that there was this indicator that was ticking up of people not able to pay their
100%.
bills.
Absolutely. We saw it.
Okay. And that had a significant impact on your operation because you all are trying to figure out,
we're
okay,
on the
how do you
West
balance
Coast.
it. Okay.
Yeah. How do you
Okay.
balance it? We had to figure that out.
Wow.
Yep. So we changed our purchase policy. We did some things to get rid of the bad loans very quickly.
Okay.
And put new loans on the books that had a higher credit tier.
That makes sense.
So it got pretty complex. It was extremely complex.
Right. But that was something you all had to do. Basically, what you did early on was what the housing industry had to do later.
Absolutely.
They required more documentation. They required
100%.
more equity.
That's
right.
right.
All those things. Okay.
That's right. We did that in the beginning.
Wow. And to do that in the auto industry, where
auto
it seems
industry.
like there's always been a lot of flexibility there.
That's
The other
right.
auto companies must have been looking at y'all like, I'm not sure how you all are going to survive, but you all were doing the right thing at the right time.
At the right time.
And everybody had to follow.
Everybody had to follow.
Wow.
Yep.
So that's amazing. So you're in this space out in Las Vegas. And,
Yep.
and again, so you talked about worrying about culture on a daily basis, and you have
Sure.
1,600 people. You have all these things to worry about. You're an executive. You are a bona fide executive at
Yeah.
Ford
Yeah.
Motor Company. And
Yes.
when you're walking into that space, tell me what that leader is saying to young Tony Goins, who, took your uniform at American Express to your aunt to Taylor. Like,
Yeah.
how do those two reconcile? You still super, about the image and making sure
Sure.
that like, tell me what does that executive say to young Tony taking that security job at American Express?
Man, that's a great question. Listen, I was just grateful.
Okay.
I was just very grateful. I've become very reflective of the people in my life that supported me and
Yes.
and the grace of God, and just having faith and just somehow being able to figure it out and to obtain these opportunities. When you talk about resiliency, I mean, at the end of the day,
Right.
when you get hit, you got to find a way to bounce back.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And who you surround yourself with, how you carry yourself,
Yeah.
the way you think about forgiveness,
Mm-hmm.
the way you think about being remorseful is a driver in your outcomes.
Absolutely.
Like you can't and the way you think about seeing things through others' eyes and not just your eyes.
Okay. Perspective.
Perspective.
Yeah.
You can't be so locked in on what you think and what you do is right. You have to take a step back and say, let me try to see things through someone else's eyes.
Yes.
And if things don't go right, how do you work to come back to some point of reconciliation?
Yeah.
And so I've had to do that my entire life.
Absolutely.
And so I think when you have that level of perspective, then at the end of the day, positive outcomes happen. And so
Absolutely.
very quickly, I left Ford Motor Company because I was recruited by a company called USAA out of San Antonio, Texas.
Yes. USAA.
And the reason I left because it was a much larger opportunity. I didn't have in my repertoire managing multiple facilities.
I see. Okay.
So that's a different skill set. Because when you're in one facility, you have the ability to influence the culture.
Yes.
But this job was a site in San Antonio and a site in Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
And managing multiple facilities is a step up in the corporate world because people want to see
Mhm.
that you've done something other than just managing one facility. And I needed that as a part of my repertoire.
Okay.
So I go to USAA, I relocate to San Antonio, Texas. That's during the financial crisis is still going on. We're managing. And, the next step is a global position because,
Yes.
if you really want to call yourself a business person and you're rising in that world, then a global position is what you look for. Now,
Absolutely.
take a quick step back. I'd always been enamored by Wall Street.
Okay.
I'd always, I watched the movie Wall Street, New York City. I mean, if you're competitive and you want to be in the game, then you want to be where the best competition is.
Absolutely.
And the best competition in the financial services world is in New York City. That's the epicenter.
Yes.
So I took a vacation while I lived in Vegas. And my vacation was spending 3 days down on Wall Street in a cigar lounge.
Okay.
To the extent that some of the traders and guys actually thought that I worked on Wall Street.
Okay.
And I said, I don't now. I said, but one day I'm I'm coming. Don't worry about it. So I get a call about a global position at JP Morgan Chase.
Oh, wow.
In New
Okay.
York City.
Okay.
I fly to New York. I go through 33 interviews.
Oh my goodness.
My last interview was with a gentleman named Frank Bisignano. The interview before that was with a gentleman named Charlie Scharf. Charlie's now the CEO of Wells Fargo. And Frank Bisignano is now the head of Social Security for the United States of America, reporting to President Trump. But I take a global position. I'm co-located between New York and Dallas. I've got teams in Asia, North America, including Canada and Mexico.
So ladies and gentlemen, the Greensboro kid has gone international.
Yeah.
And when we come back, we're going to learn even more about Mr. Goins' story, and we're going to continue on the Law of Lift. You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
MHC isn't new, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can also handle your commercial moves as well. There's never fees on trucks, stairs, elevators, long carry, and last-minute booking, and no trip or fuel charges. Also, no upcharge on weekends, and they do offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left at once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2. Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Life changes, and sometimes that means changing where you call home. Whether you're downsizing, growing a family, relocating, or facing tough times, you shouldn't navigate it alone. I'm Laura Bonta-Bush with Woods Bros Realty, and I'm here to guide you with all your real estate needs. As wife of football coach Bill Bush, I understand the importance of teamwork and making sure you are supported every step of the way with honesty, integrity, and compassion. If you're looking for a game plan to buy or sell your home, text or call me at 402-525-0843. That's 402-525-0843.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Hopefully you and I agree that you should do everything you can to save your marriage. Divorce is hard, expensive, and its outcome is usually not all you hope for. However, when doing everything has failed, when divorce remains as your last option, consider Cordell & Cordell as your first choice to help you through the divorce process to a better place on the other side. We've been a partner men can count on for more than 30 years. Let us be that partner for you.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Lincoln area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 402-858-3220. That's 402-858-3220. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Lincoln. 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska 68508.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
Now back to the Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Lincoln, Nebraska. We are back. I have Tony Goins in the studio with me today, and he is just absolutely schooling us on what the corporate ladder looks like and how you climb rung by rung up that corporate ladder. This is the same Tony Goins who asked his the leader of the NCO school, how do I possibly, get to E5? And he said, well, you need to graduate as an honor graduate from this NCO academy. And he said, okay, I'm going to figure out how to do it. Right. Yeah. This is the same Tony Goins who took his uniform, which is just, this is just so, it's just so illustrative of your way of thinking, in that you wanted to be the most squared away security guard at that space because you knew that your image mattered.
Sure.
And that led to a gentleman seeing you for what you could be.
Sure.
Lifting you up. And then you go from there to QVC. And then here you are at the bank, Key Bank, right?
Yeah.
Then you go from Key Bank to Ford Motor Company.
Yeah.
Ford Motor Company to USAA. A lot of our folks listening, you don't know USAA is a major bank that supports military members and their dependents.
Correct.
And it's only for them. They're the only
That's
ones
right.
who can participate. And
That's
so
right.
you go from USAA, 33 interviews later, you land a job at JP Morgan.
JP Morgan. Yep.
And so that moves you from San Antonio to
co-located between Dallas, Texas, and New York City.
That's right. Dallas, Texas, and New York City. And
Yep.
so tell us about that time at JP Morgan. And then, you kind of have a change of events, and life usually calls us, and it calls us home sometimes. It calls us to leave where we are and go to where we need to be.
Sure,
right.
sure.
And so tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So short version, it's still during the financial crisis. You've got the OCC, which is the Office of the Comptroller of Currency. JP Morgan had just done 2 acquisitions, Washington Mutual and Bear Stearns.
Okay.
So if you're in the banking world, you know those names.
Yes.
It was a lot of angst, and it was a lot going on. And so you had regulators, you had enforcement actions, and it was my job to kind of work to help untangle some of the regulatory stuff while still delivering revenue, delivering client satisfaction, and just hitting your numbers.
I see.
So I had teams in Manila, Cebu, and that's, of course, in the Philippines.
Okay.
Then I had teams all across the United States, all the way from San Diego, all the way down to Tampa, Florida.
Okay.
And all in between. And I had teams down in Mexico.
Wow.
So I'm moving around, visiting all of those sites.
Oh my goodness.
Making sure everybody's hitting their numbers. I go to the site, we do business reviews, I do round tables, I do town hall meetings.
Mm-hmm.
So it went well,
Yeah.
To transition here very quickly. In 2012, my father got really sick. He cancer had come back for the 3rd time.
Oh man.
And he had shared with me that he wasn't going to take chemo anymore. He was done. So on my way back from the Philippines, I landed in Texas, and now I'm on my way back to North Carolina. He passes away on my way to North Carolina to see him. So
on that flight.
On that flight. Yep.
Wow.
Even before I got to the airport to get on the flight,
Oh my
I got a call from my uncle saying that, he had passed away. So, but now when I land in Greensboro, I've got to manage and handle all of his affairs.
Yes.
The funeral, his suit, and all the stuff that you do.
Yeah.
And he passed away on May 24th, 2012.
Okay.
And I could clearly see my mother's health declining also fairly significantly. She actually went into a coma. I flew back while she was in a coma.
Oh, wow.
Didn't know whether she was going to make it or not. She came out of the coma,
Mhm.
and I had a chance to ask her a lot of questions and just spend some time with her.
Yes.
But I ended up leaving JP Morgan. I got closer to North Carolina, which gave me the opportunity to spend more time with her. And in my head, I could help her health condition,
Yeah.
by being more interactive with the doctors. my sister Robin had carried a lot of the infrastructure in terms of helping my mother because she was there in Greensboro.
Okay.
And so anyway, July 24th of 2013, my mother passed away.
Oh, wow.
She did.
Yeah.
And when I'd gone back to North Carolina, I worked for Sutters Bank for a while. But it was needed to be back in the South so that I could really be closer to that situation.
Yeah.
And once she passed away, then I got a call from Russell Reynolds, which is a search firm. And he shared with me, it was a bank. The bank was in a lot of trouble. It needed some attention.
Yeah.
But initially he didn't say where the bank was. And he asked me how I felt about guns. And I thought that was a strange question as a part of the interview. And he says, well, we need to ask you that because this company sells guns.
Yeah.
And finally he said the company was Cabela's.
Okay.
And it was located in Lincoln, Nebraska. The bank was
Yeah.
world's foremost bank. And my initial reaction was I have no desire to go to Lincoln, Nebraska. So I'd never been here before. And mind you, throughout my career, I lived in 9 or 10 cities and states.
Yes.
But I'd never been to Nebraska before.
Okay.
So there was not a huge, I didn't know what to expect, but I wasn't waking up saying I wanted to move to Nebraska.
Yeah.
So he said, listen, you don't have to take the job, but at least fly down and take a look at it and kind of see what's going on. So I did. And I remember they introduced me to a lot of people. And I just remember saying, I don't know what it is about this city, but these are some of the kindest people that I've ever met.
Yeah.
And I call my soon-to-be wife, Kim Goins, and I said, I think we're coming to Nebraska. She said, you got to be kidding. Well, initially I told her, I said, don't worry about it. I'm not going to take the job.
Right. Don't worry about going to Nebraska.
Yeah, don't worry about going to Nebraska. And then I called her back and said, listen, I think we're going to Nebraska. So I took the job, came here, recruited 2 people from JP Morgan to come with me, Lady Anderson and Diane Cole. They left JP and relocated and came here to Lincoln. And we ended up, doing some really great things at the bank. But an activist, Paul Singer, Elliott Management, started buying in. And the story, we ended up having to sell the company.
Yes.
And so we sold Cabela's to Bass Pro. We sold the bank to Capital One.
The bank part of Cabela's went to Capital One. Okay.
Went to Capital One.
Okay.
And not long after, during that same time period, my partner Austin Hillis and I founded the Capital Cigar Lounge.
Okay.
And for about a year, that's the work that I did.
Yeah.
Austin and I would get up every day and we worked at Capital Cigar Lounge and got that business going and got it foundationally ready to operate in the public, which was interior build out, everything that you see at Capital. Austin and I worked on that for a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so tell me, for you being out here in Nebraska, you said that, you run into some of the kindest people you had ever met
and the smartest.
Everything else, and the smart. Okay.
Yeah.
And
I call them sneaky smart. Like you can't tell they're smart because they don't act smart.
They don't act smart, right?
But get them. You see these Nebraska leaders at the negotiating table.
Then all of a sudden, all of it comes out, right? And
it does.
You're like, okay, I didn't think about that. So, talk to me about, what inspired you to write the book?
Yeah. So I kept meeting all of these incredible business leaders that I'd never heard of before, and like I said, they were extremely bright, extremely smart, and very kind. They would give you their cell phone number. They would invite you to their home for dinner. Just amazing leaders. And so my friend Jay Wilkerson, who founded Firespring and owns Firespring, him and his wife, Tanya Starr, I kept saying to Jay, this is not normal for a town of 350,000 people to have this level of gravitas when it comes to just business acumen and businesses that have just hit scale and levels, some international, just amazing.
Yes.
And I said, it's got to be something in the water here. And I said, has anyone ever documented these stories? And he says, no, this is just Lincoln. This is what we do. And I said, no, Jay, this is different. So one day he called me. He said, meet me at the country club. We go to the country club. He pulls out this book cover. It says Something in the Water, the story of Lincoln's founders and builders. And at the bottom, it has my name. And I said, Jay, what are we doing?
Right.
He said, well, you've come in from out of town. And you've noticed that this is an anomaly. And so you're going to write the book. I said, Jay, I've never done this before. So don't worry about it. So we ended up formulating 20 questions. We reached out to 20 entrepreneurs.
Excellent.
And over a 3-year period, I did 20 interviews, and we launched a book at the Lincoln Country Club with all of those leaders. And then we did a second launch at the Capitol Cigar Lounge. And that's how the book was born. And all of the funding went to charities and the charity.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
My wife and I took no money from this endeavor.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And so for those of you listening, there is a book. It's called Something in the Water. And we have it here in the studio. And it's just, first of all, it's a beautiful book. And it has so many wonderful stories in there about the origins of these individuals and how they were able to build their organizations. The foreword is by Pete Ricketts, Senator Pete Ricketts, and then the afterword is by Tim Clare.
Tim Clare, that's right.
And
who was my true key into the relationships here in Nebraska.
Wow, that's
Tim Clare.
That doesn't surprise me. Tim Clare is an amazing man, and he just recently retired from being a regent.
He did,
and
he's on sabbatical now.
Yeah, he's getting some much needed rest and relaxation. Right,
we were actually together last night.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, he's
in Ireland right now.
Oh, is he? Okay, okay, that's outstanding.
That's my other brother.
Wow. So Tim Clare, and
Tim Clare, Brad Correll, and Rich Clausen.
Yes.
These guys hosted an event for me here and just got me really plugged into the community.
That's amazing.
Those three guys.
And that's the type of connections that you want to be able to make when you get to a place. And so, we're kind of getting close to the end of this segment here, but just talk to me about, for folks who are listening, who want to get really connected and start networking and doing some of the things so that they can expand their network. What are some important foundational components that people need to have in order to build their network?
Well, I think first of all, you have to be a listener. And for me, it's about relationships. There's a sign in my business that says, sit with winners. The conversation is different. #relationships matter.
Absolutely.
And that's in the private lounge of the Capitol Cigar Lounge, 5505 South 16th Street, Lincoln, Nebraska.
Okay.
So I think you have to go into a scenario really not as much so about networking, but how do you build a relationship?
Relationships.
And that relationship is you spend time and you actually care more about the person than you do about the initiative.
That makes sense.
You don't go into it looking for something.
Yes.
But if you go into it genuinely and authentically about a real relationship, then all of a sudden trust starts to materialize, and through that trust, all of a sudden you have a relationship, and that's the foundation for real solid business opportunities.
So relationships matter, you all. Relationships matter, and we'll continue talking about relationships and finishing up with Tony Goins after this break.
Sure.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
Make bill paying a breeze with Text to Pay. LES texts you 1 week before your bill's due date. Just reply to the text to pay. It's that easy. Log into your account at les.com to sign up today.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
MHC isn't new, just a new name. Mo's Moving is now Mo's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered. Specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can also handle your commercial moves as well. There's never fees on trucks, stairs, elevators, long carry, and last-minute booking, and no trip or fuel charges. Also no upcharge on weekends, and they do offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Now back to the Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yes, Lincoln, we are back for the final segment of the show. And this show has just been, it's been a learning experience for me, just hearing about this individual who I have a lot of respect for. And like I said, from the time you stepped foot in Nebraska, I heard about you. I heard about just the level of quality of a person that you are, and, got a chance to just see you move around this area, and it's just been amazing. And I've also had the distinct honor of working with your wife.
Yeah.
Been on a board with her before.
That's
and just
right.
seen all the things that she does.
She's amazing.
Of course, when we happen to have amazing better halves, it just makes us better, right?
Oh my God.
And so it's been awesome to get to know both of you and see all the wonderful things that you all are doing here and continue to do internationally. And so we had talked a little bit about the book, and what I wanted to finish up with today is just I wanted you to talk about, during these challenging times when you, over the course of your career, were struggling, some of the things that you had to do. You talked about some of those difficult things. You talked about some of the difficult things that happened in your life.
Yes.
Talk to us about, how do you lift yourself up out of that and continue to move forward during those challenging times?
Lawrence, I think first and foremost, a foundation of faith, which was instilled in me as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up in Mount Zion Holiness Church of God in Christ, Koji. Mm-hmm. You don't forget that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You don't understand. I didn't understand it at the time.
Right.
But that reflection and that foundation of faith and the foundation for prayer was top of agenda. And then having good people around you, family and people that give you some level of inspiration.
Yes.
I think that's number 2. And then number 3, understanding you gotta, like, you have to move forward. Like, you gotta put a plan in place.
Yes.
You gotta figure it out. And you gotta know through the right relationships, people that will take your call.
Yes.
Then that gives you the avenue to be able to, come out of some of those challenging situations.
That's amazing. And it seemed like you always had those relationships and you maintained those relationships for the right reasons.
For the right reasons. Absolutely.
So, and
Absolutely.
one thing that sticks out to me is Tony invited me to his office at Fiserv, and that's where he's currently working.
Yeah.
And, we go into your office, and by the way, I ended up at the wrong building first, and they would not let me in. That's how good the security is there, right?
Oh yeah.
A young Tony Goins kept me from going in one of the buildings.
That's right.
And
that was his job.
Yes, exactly. And so I came to your office, and we sat in your office and ate lunch and had the opportunity to pray together, which was awesome.
That's right.
And so that foundation of faith, it's continued to steal you through this situation and provide you with something to fall back on. And, as you think back over your life's journey and you think about where you started and some of the early challenges that came up in your life, some of the challenges that turned into your biggest blessings. You talked about your daughter early on and got emotional, and I've seen your son. Your son is a coach, is that right?
Yeah. I have 4 beautiful kids.
4 kids, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Four beautiful kids. Tony, Anthony II, Brianna, and Jayla.
Yes.
6 beautiful, amazing grandkids.
Wow.
Yeah.
Another generation.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Jalen, boy, I have a hard time saying all my J's because Tony and her husband Anthony named all these J's, but Jalen, Jada, Jayan, Journey, Reese, and Anthony the third.
The third. There's a third now.
Yeah.
Wow. So the legacy continues, right?
Yeah.
And so as you think back to just being so young and getting the news that you were going to be a father, right, at such a young age, and then having to fight through all the things that you fought through, sit in the spaces you've been in, and deal with the challenges that you've dealt with, you use the word grateful.
Oh, I'm very grateful.
And you've used the
Very
words.
grateful.
You've used the words of how important this faith is in your foundation
Very
and
much
everything
so.
else. So what does the future look like for you at this point?
Well, let me say this. So Pete Ricketts ended up appointing me head of economic development for the state of Nebraska.
Yes.
I had the honor of leading the state through COVID. The numbers are irrefutable. $8.5 billion worth of economic development, 7,000 jobs created.
Wow.
The number 1 economy in the United States coming out of COVID. CNBC best state to work, number 7 on a 52 state list.
Wow.
Political magazine, just numerous. So that was a blessing. So, I mean, listen, the future is really now about how do I just continue to create a legacy that my wife and my children and my friends will be proud of. I mean, listen, I'm 61 years old, I'll be 62 this year.
Okay.
I must say this, man, I have an incredible wife. Kim and I married in 2015, and she's truly a force of nature. But she's a loving person. She's a deeply, deeply caring person.
Yes.
And her support for me has been undeniable. I do not sit here right now and been able to achieve certain levels of influence if it were not for her being in my life.
That's amazing.
This woman has elevated me like you would not believe.
Wow.
She's just been incredible. And I love her deeply.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. And when we talk about the law of lift, I want you all to know that the lift that is under our wings can not only be our faith, but it can also be love of other people.
That's
And
right.
when you have an amazing person in your life who is a partner and someone who cares for you more than you care for yourself sometimes, right?
Well, listen, that's a very true statement.
Yes.
Because through, different health scares and all that, she will ride me like you would not believe. She's got a little technique. She know how to push my buttons,
right,
for me to get motivated to
Get
go to
things
the
done.
doctor,
Yes.
or
Right.
and she's constantly, keeping that in my ear.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. And what it reminds me of is another person who was in your life for many years who put you into this world, and that
Yeah.
is Laverne, right?
there are some similarities.
Yes, and that's how it ends up sometimes,
It
right?
is.
That's how
true.
it ends up sometimes.
Man, listen.
Hey, we made the round, right? We made the round. So ladies and gentlemen, it is Tony. It's just been amazing.
Thank you
to have the opportunity to talk with you today. And you've just inspired me, and I know that you've inspired our listeners. And just talking about your story and all the things that you've been able to overcome through the grace of God and
Yes.
through a significant support network,
Yep.
and having an unshakable faith that God's got us, right?
That's right.
Regardless of what you're going through, you have the opportunity to get out of that through prayer, through faith, through relationships, and continuing to put one foot in front of the other. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's how it goes. That's what the law of lift is. It is that there's so many inspirational people in the world who can help us lift up, but it's all about your faith. That's what's at the center. And so,
That's right.
Tony, it's been amazing to share today with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Chatters.
MHC isn't new, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered. Specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can also handle your commercial moves as well. There's